Meet the Husky quiet compressor. You can get in this for less than $400. Not only is it quiet, but it's also a 2 horsepower compressor, 165 max PSI. You also get 2 air ports or 2 outlets here for the air. Let's go over some of these features in addition to the quietness of this compressor. Not only do we get the 2 horsepower quiet motor and compressor, but we also get a 27-gallon tank. Now, on the bottom of this is a drain, and we'll go over the importance of that here in a moment. We have an integrated hook welded right here on the tank to hang our air hoses on. That's very nice to have, whether you're at a job site or in the shop. You're always going to have a 50 or 100-foot hose that you're going to have to wind up from time to time, so it's great to be able to hang that right there or hang a tool on there. Now, that was literally the first time that we had fired up this compressor at all, and we still have 0 pressure in the tank. Now, we have 2 gauges here. This is our tank readout, so what the tank's reading, and this is what we're going to be supplying to the tool. In other words, we can have 165 PSI in the tank, but we can take this down to, say, 40, 50, 90 PSI as to what goes to the tool. And we do that by this large knob right here. And that's also going to be to both ports. So you can't separate these ports as far as different pressures. Whatever you dial in here is going to be going to both of these outlets to your tools. Now let's see how long it takes to fill up this 27-gallon tank. Again, you can see we're at 0 PSI. So let's start our clock and turn this on at the same time. Okay, looking at 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go to 165 PSI and fill the 27-gallon tank. So we can see here kind of behind the scenes a little bit here. So our gauges are up here on the front, and this is our on-off switch right here. So right now it's in the on position, but since our pressure triggered because we hit 165 PSI, the unit is off. Now, you can see we're using a single motor configuration. Driven on each end are pistons. So you get a dual piston design. These two are tied together. Up here, there's a couple of pipes that run over and tie these 2 pistons together with a single outlet that actually pressurizes the cylinder. So dual pistons, you can see the dual mufflers here that, again, are very quiet, and a single motor that, again, is driven off of each end or is driving the pumps off of each end of the motor. Now, just to kind of let you know how quiet this is, you can pretty easily talk over this. I'm going to be quiet and get a reading. We're at about a little over 6 feet away, not quite 8. So right around 71 dBA is the reading off the compressor from 7 feet away. So as we'll see, this will fill back up to 165 PSI, which it's at 150 right now. So hopefully you can still hear me. We'll go ahead and plug in our air hose. So you'll see these couplings. Are quick couplings, meaning when we release them, it's kind of back in the ready position. So all we have to do, we don't have to hold that back. We just push our air hose in and it's going to automatically clip. Just be careful when you're undoing them, because you are going to have some pressurized air unless you bleed that off first. And then with this knob here is where we're going to dial in the pressure that goes to the tool. So right now we have 165 in the tank, and we're calling for 165 of the tool. Not many tools are needing to be there. So it actually bleeds that off for you. I don't have to take a tool and bleed that off. So I'm going to bring this down to pretty normal, is about 90 PSI on a lot of air tools. Oh, no, it's actually bleeding off more. So, and then you can see also when you call the tool on how much drop you're going to get. So you may want to, especially if you're working with like a paint gun, you want to pull that trigger and dial it in while you're pulling the trigger And speaking of that, the capacity of the pump itself is 6 CFM at 40 PSI and 5 SCFM at 90 PSI. So that means how much sustained CFM or sustained cubic feet per minute the actual pump can deliver. Obviously, when your tank is pressurized, you can run just about any air tool for a little bit of time, but then once it uses that capacity, it's relying on the compressor itself to be able to keep up or to actually get ahead of it and fill the tank back up, as well as supplying the tool so it can shut off and cool for a little bit before it keeps running. So we've got plenty of power here to power a roofing nailer, framing nailer. So I've got a framing nailer here. I think I've got 3.5 inch nails in it. So plenty enough to drive those 3.5 inch nails into pressure treated. And obviously right now we're running off the tank. And then I think I've got some 3/4 inch, which are going to go through this. But so for like your roofing nails, like 1.25 inch, no problem at all driving your collated roofing nails either. Now, getting into a sander like this 6-inch sander here that would typically be used in body work or detailing, this is something that's really going to be determined by how much you're going to use this. If you're using this for just kind of spot work, if you will, then this compressor will be absolutely fine for this, because it's going to run this for a little bit and then it's going to catch up and you're going to be fine. But if you're using this for hours on end, this is not the right compressor for you. It's not going to keep up. But the nice thing about this is, if you are using this in the shop and it's having to kind of catch up, it's not loud. You know, if you've got a 20-foot hose and you're 10 feet away from it, you're going to be absolutely fine carrying on a conversation or sanding without it bugging you to death. So you can see as I'm using this, these needles on the tank side and the tool side are staying right at about the same, meaning this compressor's be able to keep up with this, but really not to get ahead of it. So long use of a tool like this is going to really utilize a lot of CFM, and so it may be more of a difficult tool for this. Again, you're using this 10, 15 minutes at a time, you're not going to have an issue with this. But if you're using this hours on end, then you probably need a bigger tank or a more powerful compressor. Otherwise, any of your other air tools, your blow-off guns, filling tires, things like that, this is going to be a great unit for that. By the way, I did want to mention, while this is running, it is consuming, or it is using about 1,550 watts or so. So it is going to kind of max out a typical 15 amp outlet. Obviously, it's got another 300 watts to go. So typical outlets will run between 1,800 and 2,400 watts, depending on whether you're running a 15 amp or a 20 amp breaker. But again, this one's consuming about 1,500 watts when it is running. Now, here on the rear of the compressor are large rubber wheels that make it really easy to traverse this. It is heavy on the top end. Obviously, it's a 27-gallon steel compressor. Then you have those large isolator feet there on the front side as well. So not only are there rubber wheels and isolators, both of them are going to be able to not only provide an easy way to roll this around, but also isolate a lot of the vibration that may be coming through the tank. And speaking of isolators, there's also large isolator pads right here on the bottom of the motor on all four corners that, again, are taking up that vibration, so you're not feeling or hearing that coming through the compressor. In fact, you could see probably the pressure gauge is kind of shaking, but it's this whole top side that's kind of isolated on pads that gives it the ability to kind of shake around a little bit, but it's not actually giving you feedback and you're not hearing that. Now, something else that's very important down here on the under regions of the compressor, lay this down, and you'll see right under here is the purge valve or the bleed off valve or the water drain. It's very important that each day drain this out. Now, we've really only filled this tank up, let's say 1.25 times. So I filled it one time and then used it a few times. Let's just say twice. Let me lean this back up. We're going to drain all of this out and we're going to show you what we find. And before we do that, I wanted to mention, you can kind of see there's almost like a roll cage effect on the build of the top of the compressor. So if this thing does go over, and by the way, it kind of fell out of the box when we unpackaged it, so it's got a dent in one of those tubes already. But you see, it's not laying on a tool, it's not laying on the couplers, it's not laying on the gauges, it's laying on the steel cage there, even though it's laid all the way down. Same if it's laid on the backside, it's not going to lay on the mufflers, it's going to lay on the steel cage. So we'll go ahead and open up this. Moisture is a killer to steel tanks and to compressors. That's one tank full, let's just call it at the most 3 tankfuls of air here in Central Florida, and that's how much moisture we're getting in the tank, and it's possibly going through the compressor as well, and through your air tools if you don't drain that. So by the way, if you're looking for Dad a present for Father's Day, not a bad idea here for the Husky compressor, the quiet compressor. So much quieter than your standard style compressors, again with dual outlets up to 165 psi and a 27-gallon tank. Price on this is, I believe it's $379 right now at the Home Depot. You can get those online. You can also get it at the store or get it online and go pick it up at the store. It's actually what we did. So anyway, check it out from Husky, the 2 horsepower, 165 psi, 27-gallon quiet compressor.